proceed to ask question 010.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I go right to ask question number 010. And the question is addressed to the Cabinet Secretary for Roads and Transport. Could the Cabinet Secretary for Roads and Transport provide comprehensive data and records on road accidents involving tractors transporting sugarcane from farms to factories in sugarcane growing areas in Kisumu County since 2017? Part 2, how many of these accidents are attributable to unroadworthy tractors and competence of tractor drivers? Third, what is the government doing to strengthen and streamline regular monitoring and enforcement of licensing of tractor drivers as well as the inspection of tractors? And the last part, Mr. Speaker, sir, is what measures are in place to ensure proper maintenance of roads in sugarcane growing areas? And could the Cabinet Secretary state plans to compensate persons affected by road accidents involving these tractors? Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Honorable CS, you may proceed to respond.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the total number of farm tractors presented for post-accident inspection are as tabulated below. In 2019, it was 7, 2020, 9, 2021, 9, 2022, 3, 2023, 4, and so far in this year, 1. For the period of 2019 to 2024, the total number of defective tractors were 9. The Ministry, through its implementing agency, NTSA, conducts road safety sensitization forums quarterly with cane processing factories operating within the Kisumu County and its environs. These factories include Kibos Sugar and Allied Company Limited in Kisali, West Kenya Sugar Company, Kabras, Chemelil Sugar Company, Moroni Sugar Company, and Butali Sugar Mills. Following a meeting of the Kisumu County Transport and Safety Committee held on 5th July 2023, it was noted that most accidents involving cane trucks were due to the following reasons: poor visibility of cane truck drivers on the road, as most trucks lack chevron and proper lighting equipment; failure to observe operating hours. No sugarcane trucks shall be allowed on the road before 6 a.m. and after 6 p.m. Most drivers free wheel, especially when approaching a flyover, to gain momentum to move uphill, resulting in accidents. For example, the Kasagam flyover, where several sugarcane trucks have rolled over due to freewheeling. These facilities have been designed to be navigated at a certain speed. For example, the maximum speed of the Kasagam flyover is 40 kilometers per hour. Thus, a driver going at any speed above the limit is at risk of causing accidents. There is need for drivers to undergo road safety training and defensive driving skills, frequent breakdowns and delays in attending to stalled trucks on highways. In order to address the issue raised about safety matters, the Ministry has scheduled sensitization activities on sugar transporters and farmers beginning this month. Proper and secure cane loading on tractor trailers to minimize obstruction, ensure visibility, and prevent spillage on carriageways. Settling and enforcing operating hours for cane collection points from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Additionally, the NTSA conducts free inspection clinics for farm tractors to cane collection points. This is done to ensure tractors are properly mounted retro-reflective chevron. Furthermore, NTSA conducts joint operation with traffic police to ensure compliance. Mr. Speaker, the NTSA have designated the roads in sugarcane growing areas under performance-based contracts and routine maintenance contracts whose specifications include, but are not limited to, the following: clearing any debris on the carriageway, drop-offs from sugarcane trucks, sealing of emerging potholes on the carriageway, desilting road drainage systems on the obstruction, road marking to enhance road safety. That must be Kenya. Yeah, sorry. I read that NTSA, but it's Kenya actually, Mr. Speaker. Please correct the report accordingly, the document accordingly. Senator Professor Ojienda. It is supposed to be Kenya as designated. Axle loading control to curb loading. Pavement strengthening on need-to basis to accommodate sugarcane traffic loading. Roads in Western Kenya region include Kakamega, Kiboswa, Kakamega, Webuye, Kitale, Ekero, Mayoni, Mbwekas, and Ebuyangu, Ekero. Roads in Nyanza region include Ewasi, Nandi Hills, Moroni, Fortenan, Hawasi, Katito, Awendo, Mariwa, Kilgoris, Rongo, Homa Bay, Ranen, Chamkiwadu to Kenyanya, Rodi, Kopany, Tundiwa, Katiko, Kendu Bay, Homa Bay, and Mamboleo, Kiboswa. Additionally, the ministry through Kenya has conducted stakeholders engagement with sugarcane transporters and interested stakeholders and sensitized them on adherence to acceptable rear top on side of vehicle distance limits when carrying sugarcane as per the Traffic Act guidelines. This aimed at minimizing accidents caused by reduced visibility to other motorists due to improper packaging of sugarcane. Effects of overloading on the carriageway. Procedure of obtaining permits from NTSA under special cases of cane transportation, need for proper packaging for sugarcane on trucks to minimize drop-offs and littering on the carriageway to minimize maintenance cost. Mr. Speaker, this statement is coming at a time when we have unfortunately lost a number of people yesterday and the day before on road accidents, including students of Kenyatta University, and including also the accident that happened in Olenguruoni, Silibwet Road, and the other one that happened in Moroni. Mr. Speaker, road accidents is becoming a threat to our national health system. In fact, we are speaking with Honorable Nakumicha, the CS Health, about the impact of such accidents on our health facilities. Mr. Speaker, just let me use this moment, because I've got this opportunity through this August House, to condole with the families that were affected. And number two, Mr. Speaker, to assure the public that the directive that President Uhuru Kenyatta vacated in 2018, that made it impossible for us in the transport sector and NTSA particularly to be on the road to do enforcement, is now revisited. And together with Professor Kindiki in Interior, we will bring back the collaborative effort that required some of the traffic police officers to be seconded to NTSA for proper enforcement. Because, Mr. Speaker, we were left to what you saw me reading here. You know, sensitization, setting the standards. But, Mr. Speaker, even though the Act permits enforcement, on the ground, Mr. Speaker, government decision was made to leave that enforcement only to the traffic police. I believe the new direction will help us to be able to deal with this menace. But last, Mr. Speaker, just to emphasize, even this tractor menace, including driving on the roads, Mr. Speaker, the statistics show that most of the accidents are as a result of drivers' behavior. Mr. Speaker, when I announced last year that the drivers will be retested, and that you will not get a certificate, the driving license retested, there was hue and cry. And many people say that we were oppressing drivers. But everybody goes through retesting. Lawyers go through every year through training. Doctors do the same. Mr. Speaker, drivers who are carrying human life should be retested so that we know those who are competent. We test even up to their alcohol content and the drug abuse possibilities among the drivers. These are things that we should support as people of Kenya. The last thing is that as individuals and citizens, Mr. Speaker, citizen responsibility is extremely important. The matatu that got an accident in the Silibwet Road, Olenguruoni Silibwet Road, Mr. Speaker, had 24 people, which is 10 people extra. And it was carrying 4 bags of maize. That, Mr. Speaker, by the time the 15th person, the 16th person, the 17th person, the 18th person was boarding that matatu, they knew, of course, that it was overloaded. And, Mr. Speaker, we cannot act as citizens that we are ignorant of the fact that you sit in a car, the driver is drunk or overspeeding or it's already overloaded. we also need to take responsibility ourselves as passengers, but more importantly, those who are sitting behind the wheel. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator for Bungoma, you may proceed to ask question number 031.